Welcome to Cheap Talk, the podcast that dives deep into life's little dilemmas. Today, we're talking kitchens. Not just any kitchens, but ideal kitchens, those dream culinary spaces we all crave, especially when stuck with, shall we say, less than inspiring rentals.
Oh, the rental kitchen struggle is real. 2 burner cooktops crammed next to the entryway? Check. A kitchen that's barely bigger than a closet? Double check. It makes you wonder if anyone actually cooks anymore.
Right? The author of this piece talks about that exact feeling, that disconnect between modern living and the joy of cooking. They started out not caring about kitchen space, but after years of takeout burnout, cooking became a source of therapy, and suddenly the kitchen became a priority.
It's funny how life changes your perspective, isn't it? So, what makes a dream kitchen, according to this author? Spill the tea.
Well, first off, space for prepping real ingredients, like enough room to actually process the bounty from a farmer's market haul, not just pre-cut meal kits. It's about the experience, the connection to the food.
Yeah, that tactile experience is so important. But it also goes beyond just the food itself, right? The author mentions the social aspect, the weak ties you build at the market.
Exactly. It's about those small interactions, those brief connections that actually contribute a lot to our well-being. It's that sense of community, of belonging, that can be surprisingly fulfilling.
So true. It's like cooking starts being therapeutic even before you step in the kitchen. So what else? What's next on the dream kitchen checklist?
Room for two. Because cooking with a partner, chopping veggies side by side, it's surprisingly romantic. It's a shared activity, and all those fine motor skills involved actually release dopamine and serotonin. Instant mood booster.
Ooh, I love that. A happy chef equals a happy relationship. And sharing a meal afterward? Even better. The author brings up this idea of a focal thing, something that generates meaning through effort, which a takeout meal just can't replicate.
I hear you. Plus, it builds shared memories, strengthens the relationship narrative. It's those little moments, those shared experiences that create a deeper connection.
Absolutely. Now let's talk kitchen layouts. The dreaded Frankfurt kitchen gets a mention. Efficient, but isolating.
Right? Tucked away, door closed, the cook becomes separated from everyone else. It's like a solitary confinement cell for culinary creativity, and it makes those mealtime conversations feel so loaded, right?
Ah, yes. All the pressure to connect right then, when everyone's just trying to eat. So, open plan kitchens, solution, or another set of problems?
Well, they solve the isolation issue, but introduce the stir-fry smokescreen dilemma, especially with certain cuisines. The author suggests a compromise, a window between kitchen and living room, so the cook can still be part of the action.
Smart. See the cook, not just their back. It's about acknowledging the effort, the love that goes into making a meal.
Totally. And then there's kitchen flow, the key-shaped, U-shaped, and island layouts. It's about having the freedom to move, to create, not feeling like you're stuck on a culinary assembly line.
Yeah, and it impacts the cook's mindset too. Repetitive movements, a rigid routine, it can stifle creativity. Cooking is a form of self-expression, and the kitchen layout should support that.
Exactly. Every slice, every dice, every sprinkle of spice reflects the cook's personality. It's an act of self-discovery. And finally, let's talk ergonomics, specifically counter height.
Oh, the back-breaking struggle. Designed for the average woman, but leaving taller folks, men and women, hunched over and aching. It reinforces those traditional gender roles too.
It's like the kitchen is saying only certain people are welcome here. It needs to be inclusive, adaptable, welcoming to everyone who wants to create and share food.
So the ideal kitchen is more than just stylish appliances and fancy countertops. It's a space that nourishes the soul as much as the body, a space for connection, creativity, and a little bit of self-discovery, no matter who you are. It's food for thought, right?
So we're talking about kitchen layouts and how they impact not just the cooking process, but also the social dynamics of a meal. It's fascinating how something as simple as a wall can create a sense of isolation.
It really is. Like, think about the classic Frankfurt kitchen, designed for pure efficiency, but ending up feeling like a solitary confinement cell for the cook.
Totally. And then open plan kitchens swing to the other extreme. Everyone's in the thick of it, maybe too much in the thick of it, with stir-fry smoke filling the living room.
Ha! The stir-fry smokescreen, a classic kitchen conundrum. So where's the sweet spot? A window between kitchen and living room, right?
Exactly. It's a compromise. The cook can still be part of the conversation, but without the pressure of performing for a live audience. It acknowledges the effort, the love that goes into making a meal without putting the cook on display.
Yeah, it's about visibility and appreciation, isn't it? Seeing the process, not just the finished product. So, what about the layout within the kitchen? T-shaped, U-shaped, island? Does it really matter?
Oh, it absolutely does. It's all about flow, the freedom to move, to groove, to create without feeling like you're stuck in a culinary assembly line, you know?
Totally. Like a dancer in the kitchen. And it impacts the cook's mindset too. Repetitive movements, a rigid routine, it can stifle creativity, which is a key ingredient in any good dish.
Right. Cooking is a form of self expression, after all. Each slice, each dice, each sprinkle of spice reflects the cook's personality. It's an act of self discovery, almost.
I love that. And speaking of self-discovery, let's talk ergonomics. Counter height, anyone? Because that's where the dream kitchen can turn into a nightmare, especially for taller folks.
Oh, the back pain is real. It's designed for a certain height, often overlooking taller men and women. And it subtly reinforces those traditional gender roles, too, right? Like the kitchen is saying, only certain people are welcome here. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It's a powerful message, even if it's unintentional. So the ideal kitchen? It's more than just fancy appliances. It's a space that nourishes the soul as much as the body. Connection, creativity, self-discovery, all key ingredients. Food for thought, huh?
So we were talking about kitchen layouts and how they can impact the social dynamics of a meal. It's interesting how this article brings up the idea that even something as simple as a wall can create a sense of isolation, you know?
It really is, like the Frankfurt kitchen, designed for pure efficiency, but sometimes feeling like, well, a solitary confinement cell for whoever's cooking. Not ideal.
Definitely not. And then you have open plan kitchens swinging to the other extreme. Everyone's right there, maybe a little too close to the action, especially when the stir fry smoke starts billowing into the living room.
Huh. The stir-fry smokescreen? A classic kitchen problem. The article suggests a happy medium, right? A window between the kitchen and living room?
Yes, that seems like a good compromise. The cook can still be part of the conversation, see what's going on, but without feeling like they're performing for a live audience while trying to get dinner on the table.
It's about acknowledging the effort, the love that goes into cooking without making it a performance. So, what about the layout within the kitchen? Does it really matter if it's a T shape, a U shape, or an island?
It totally does. It's all about flow, the ability to move freely and create without feeling like you're stuck on a culinary assembly line, right? And I think this also ties back to the self discovery aspect the article touched on.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, if the layout is restrictive, it can stifle creativity. Cooking becomes a chore, not a joy. But a well designed kitchen can actually encourage experimentation, you know? It allows for that self expression, that little bit of self discovery in every dish.
I like that. It's not just about efficiency, it's about enabling the cook to really connect with the process. And the article mentions counter height too, which can be a major factor, especially for taller people.
Oh, the back pain struggle is real. And it's often designed with a certain, shall we say, average height in mind, which often leaves taller folks hunched over and aching. It's a design flaw that can make the kitchen feel unwelcoming.
Yeah, it's like the kitchen is subtly saying, only certain people belong here. And it can reinforce traditional gender roles too, which is definitely something to consider.
Exactly. And that connects to the bigger idea of the kitchen as a space for connection, not just for cooking. It should be inclusive, adaptable, a place where everyone feels comfortable creating and sharing food, regardless of height or any other factor. It's food for thought, right?
Absolutely. It's a space that nourishes the soul, not just the body. It's about connection, creativity, and self-discovery, all happening in this one special room. Thanks for tuning in to Cheap Talk, everyone. We hope this episode gave you something to chew on. And for me, a final thank you, and until next time, happy cooking!